So this is the thing. Just because XRP has been declared to not be a security doesn't mean automatically that all the other tokens are not securities. And we have an example of that happened yesterday. Now we have all of these tokens that are pumping so hard right now. Solana, Cardano, Avalanche, all sorts of L0s and L1s and L2s that sold tokens to third parties with, the third parties expecting to make profit, right? A lot of those tokens now are in the limelight, thinking that because of XRP's victory, or Ripple's victory rather, against the SEC and XRP having been declared not a security, that automatically sets a precedent that applies to them. Well, Terraform Labs, albeit bankrupt now, has learnt the hard way that that's not necessarily true. And I think that other projects best pay attention to this. Terraform Labs sold unregistered securities, says Judge. Earlier this year, the SEC's crusade against cryptocurrencies seemed to be coming to a head after Judge Annalisa Torres sided mostly in favor of Ripple, who ruled that XRP is, broadly speaking, not a security, and that its purchase could only be considered as an investment contract in certain circumstances, right? The two parties, however, are still duking it out with a final decision expected in early 2024. Fingers crossed. Terraform Labs attempted to capitalize on Ripple's headwinds. That's what I just said. Given the success of Ripple in its landmark case, Terraform Labs attempted to use a similar defense in its own legal battle. George Rakoff, however, was not convinced. According to the court, so basically they tried to use the same defense, or at least a similar defense, and that has backfired and that hasn't worked in their particular circumstance. Now, this is going to have a lot of the other projects really, really worried. Right now, the lawyers at Cardano, at Solana, at the companies responsible for Avalanche and all those other tokens, Polygon, they would be a little bit worried right about now. They're probably scrambling and losing their mind somewhat. And it gets worse. Look, according to the court's transcript, Judge Rakoff granted a summary judgment, one without full trial, by the way, in favor of the SEC regarding Terra and LUNA, both of which are to be considered securities going forward. Terraform Labs can still appeal the decision. Now, Terraform Labs is bankrupt. I doubt they have the amount of money that's required to go head and head with the SEC. By the way, if you're wondering what the difference is between Terra and LUNA, after the LUNA crash, Terra LUNA crash, they had the audacity to launch another token in an attempt to rescue the failed token, and then raised money from that token to do God knows what. Of course, it eventually just dumped as well, and now we have two completely useless tokens. I still have my LUNA Classic as a reminder, of how not to behave in the next bull market. I lost a fair bit of money, like many people, on Terra LUNA. Fortunately enough, I didn't use UST, even though it was pushed and promoted to us as more secure and more stable than USDC and USDT. UST was promoted to us, and a lot of people held their stable coins in UST, and a lot of people lost quite a bit of money on UST. But I didn't have any UST. I had the Terra LUNA token, which I still have now. So the LUNA Classic is what I have. I didn't go anywhere near the new Terra. Mirror tokens spared by decision. The SEC's lawsuit against Terraform Labs also attempted to categorize MIR tokens as securities. They are part of Do Kwon's Mirror ecosystem. By the way, I didn't realize that MIR, or Mirror ecosystem, was part of Do Kwon's group of properties. I used to trade that quite a fair bit many years ago in the last bull market, and I made quite a fair bit of money on it because actually the liquidity was relatively low, so we used to get these massive jumps in volatility, and it allowed you to put something like $100 in and make $200 like intraday. It was absolutely insane. Anyway, they were a part of Do Kwon's Mirror ecosystem, which was an attempt to mirror non-crypto assets on the blockchain, a practice more or less analogous to trading wheat and other commodities on a stock exchange. I mean, it was a great idea. Judge Rakoff ruled that these tokens passed the Howey test, as any profit garnered by purchasing and holding MIR tokens would be due to the performance of the assets they were tied to, not due to Terraform Labs' efforts, according to Bloomberg. I mean, that's probably great news for MER. Does that mean that they have legal clarity now? I might look into that again, maybe put a few dollars into that. That might have pumped, actually, based on that news. In other words, the MIR passes the Howey test with flying colors. The judge also took into account the testimony of former and current Jump Trading employees. Jump Trading, a firm that has not been accused of any wrongdoing, was heavily invested in the Terraform Labs ecosystem and allegedly risked $200 million to restore the TerraUSD dollar's peg. Man, where was Gary Gensler this whole time? The testimony of the unnamed whistleblower did not, however, affect the ruling, although Judge Rakoff pointed out that their depositions could be revisited at a later date. The evidence was compelling but circumstantial, relying in large part on the testimony of Jump whistleblowers whose credibility the jury will need to determine. The jury trial against Terraform Labs is due to commence in January. So, I mean, it's not the end of the trial, but this is an absolutely devastating bit of news for both Terraform Labs, of course, and other projects like Cardano, Solana, Avalanche, Polkadot, that the SEC accused of being securities. And best believe that the SEC is going to go after each one of them, one after the other. And nobody is safe from the hammer of the judge, apparently, except Bitcoin, XRP, and MIR. I might go get some MIR now. No financial advice, your own research. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.